Hey, this is Chuck with Metalwani, and I'm talking to Troy Sanders of Mastodon. Troy, how you doing?
I'm great, man. I have an iced coffee, and I'm home for the moment,
All
and
right,
it's sunny outside, so I'm doing great.
that's cool.
Thank
Awesome,
you.
man. So the new album Hushed and Grim comes out on October 29th via Reprise. I had a chance to listen to it. It's fantastic. Absolutely love it. The blurb on your website says that this album is a collection of our authentic emotions pulled from real life experiences. And I was wondering how different is the approach on this album compared to like prior releases like Emperor of Sand?
The approach is very, very similar, actually. Musically, it's always been the same since day one. Somebody will come in with like one riff of an idea, or multiple riffs, or even a nearly completed song. And if anyone brings in an idea and they say, "Hey, listen to this. What do you think of this?" If we all, it's wherever enthusiasm is. So if I'm
Uh,
excited about this riff, my other guys will pay attention to it, and vice versa. And, a lot of the times, the guitar players will come in and they've got these two things that go together great. So we just jump in on that. So musically, for every album we've ever done, it starts like that.
okay.
It's just a riff or an idea that comes from within. We share it with one another and we build on it and build on it until hopefully it becomes a song. So the songwriting has never wavered off of that approach. Lyrically, a lot of our albums have been, have had a common theme, a very thematic or conceptual. And this album is no different. It's our biggest fan and our best friend and our band's manager, Nick John, of 15 years, passed away 3 years ago in September 2018. So his impact on us as a band was monumental. He changed our trajectory of our lives.
Yeah.
He helped facilitate all of our musical dreams come true. So the impact that he had was so great. There was no way that we could avoid that lyrically and write an album about something else. It was just too impactful. He was too impactful in a wonderful
Yeah.
way. So the songwriting, so the process or the approach lyrically on this album was very similar to some of our other albums, where we pull from our life experiences, and it's we would be kind of kidding ourselves from an authentic standpoint if we were to shun what we were truly feeling and going through and write about something else.
Yeah.
That's not the way that we really work. We've done that with Crack the Sky, where we touched on loss and suicide, and The Hunter was based around loss. Emperor of Sand, same thing. All four of us in the band were dealing with family members with cancer. So this album is kind of no different, and we don't mean to write albums that are layered in darkness and sadness. But from a creative standpoint, lyrically speaking, there's no more pure and truer emotion than something as profound as what we're trying to get across. It's
Yeah.
so, and just to be clear, we're never doing this over and over because we're trying to have people. We're not trying to make people sad. We're not trying to make people cry. We don't want people to feel sorry for us. The four of us are okay with being this touching on this type of personal subject matter.
Yeah.
Like I said, number one, it's very true and very honest with ourselves, but also we're not afraid to let everyone know that we're all the same. And
Hmm.
what we're going through is very relatable to you and to you and to you and to everyone else on earth. So we're not bigger than you. We're not better than you. We're just four guys that are trying to write humble, honest music that we like. And more often than not, it's rooted in darkness and sadness. And that's just the way it is for us.
That's awesome. Well, there's like I mentioned, the whole album is it's fantastic, but there's a couple songs I wanted to ask you about, and the first one's called "The Beast." Has this really kind of a almost country and gothic vibe to it, which I thought was very cool and very different. So, how did that song come about? Who was responsible for creating that thing?
Yeah, thanks, man. I love that song too. That's the song that Brent Hines brought in, and he is rooted in deeply rooted in all sorts of music, but from like his first concert and first album was like CC Top. So he's
Oh,
always rooted in old country and blues. He has a deep passion for that. So that bluesy rock gothic vibe that you got from the Beast, that's great to hear, because that's the way we were intending on that. But that's a song that Brent brought in, and it's one of the 15 songs on the album that I think has such a unique identity.
Yeah.
And I credit that that all four of us contribute, and all four of us have similar musical tastes as well as different musical tastes. So when we can dig in on someone's idea and really build what we think is a good song out of that, it's going to have its own, hopefully its own unique flavor within the album, because like I said, we all contribute, and we all like many styles of music. So I think that helps to create more of a multi-dimensional album, as opposed to just having one main songwriter and one main lyricist. So I really dig the fact that we've got four guys that are still very anxious and excited about contributing to the band, with riffs and lyrics. And so yeah, the Beast is a perfect example of Brent's vibe, and one of the many incredible songs that he's brought to Mastodon over the 20 years.
Yeah, and there's plenty of heavy material, because I know that when you guys first started out, it was primarily really strong heavy music, March of the Fire Ants. But another really cool song on this album is the Dagger. It's got synths, and is that one instrument? Is it a Chinese fiddle, or is that is it like a Middle Eastern fiddle? Like what was that?
It's a sarangi,
Oh,
which is similar to the sounding of like a sitar.
uh-huh.
Um, in Dagger, there's this whole midsection that was just initially a break, and we're like, we could pull everything out except for percussion, and let's find. It was great to experiment with no expectations of when we were creating that song, because we all were throwing ideas to try to find new sounds that we've not done before.
Uh-huh.
And those always make special moments for us, when we can have a song or a new sound that we've yet to do over the past 8, 9, 10 albums, whatever we have in 20 years. So we tried many ideas for that midsection. And then someone had the idea of like, it's kind of reminds me of like a Middle Eastern vibe, or, type. So we're like, and our producer, David Bottrell, was like, we should get someone to play the tablas, percussive instrument.
Yeah.
And then one of us was like, oh, or a sitar. And he said, actually, David Bottrell mentioned what a sarangi is. And we actually knew a sarangi player. We're like, that'd be amazing. Let's try it. So it's great when you can have the be open-minded, and also have the time and the patience to try new things, because it can lead to some new excitement, exciting sounds. So, and again, Dagger is a song that we've never written before. So anytime we can explore new musical territory,
right,
tread new musical waters,
yes,
it's keeps it fresh, and I love that.
Yeah, I definitely thought that was a really fun song, and totally out of the blue for me, being a Mastodon fan from way back. It was like, wow, where did this come from? So yeah, very cool. So happy belated 21st birthday to Mastodon. I love the video where you guys go to Boggs and order up a beverage. So I was curious, what beverage was that? What kind of beer was it?
Well, we were amateurs, so because we've never done this before, so we don't know. We just wanted a beer, just one beer.
Right. So
I don't remember what it was in the filming of it. We just knocked that out over a 2-hour lunch break while we were in the studio actively recording the Hushed and Grim album.
Oh,
I was
awesome.
like, guys, we have to do something, to commemorate our birthday, since we couldn't go out and do it ourselves, with each other. So I started a small script to a skit, to try to, this is middle of lockdown stuff and everyone's bummed out. So anytime we can bring humor to one or more people, it's a wonderful thing. So that was fun.
Yeah, it was real fun. It was fun to watch. It was, the girl crashing on the skateboard at the end. Classic.
That was legit. She actually had 2 bloody knees. She had hit like a little pebble, and she was a friend of ours. So, but it looks great on camera. And sometimes as an actor or an actress,
right,
you have to take the punches, it's all for the sake of art, I guess.
Yeah. So, it is 21 years. What do you attribute the longevity of Mastodon to?
I contribute the longevity to two main things, I believe. Number one is that we have thankfully over time continued to grow together.
Hmm.
Any human relationship, you always hope for the best, but it's very natural for people to grow apart, and that's very
Right.
normal thing to happen. So the good fortune and fate that we've stuck together and continued to grow together. And number two is that we're all still incredibly passionate about creating music. We've never hit, thankfully, none of us have hit a personal like writer's block where again we're not the main songwriter. So if someone's only coming up with one or two ideas for this album, well, don't
Hmm.
worry, the other guys have you covered, because we're a band in the true sense of the word, I believe. So we're so the 2 points is that we've thankfully grown together, and we've all continued to share this the fire in our bellies to create has yet to be extinguished. So
That's great.
those two things are keeping us together.
Fantastic. I was curious, what was the very first concert you ever went to?
Men at Work.
Really?
Yeah, I
Fantastic.
was very much blown away by the world of MTV as a young child.
Uh,
And uh, for the few, early 1980s, Men at Work was arguably the biggest pop rock band on planet.
yeah.
And they came through Atlanta, Georgia, where I grew up. And I made good grades and did all my chores. And my parents took me to see Men at Work.
Awesome. That's
So
awesome.
it was also the first album I ever purchased with my allowance money. So um, yeah, and it's still a very, very solid album that I revisit quite often.
That's
And
cool.
I've actually befriended singer from Men at Work, Colin Hay, who's still very, very active on touring.
Yeah.
He still tours as Men at Work, and he still tours doing all of his solo stuff he's been doing for the past 20 plus years. So um, it's a really cool full circle moment for me personally, is to first
Yeah.
album, first concert, and now I consider him a friend. So
That's cool. Have
pretty
you ever
great.
thought of collaborating with him?
Yes, and that idea has already started.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, it's
So
a magical moment, at least
yeah,
in here in my heart.
right, right. That's super cool. Um, you mentioned MTV. You're the videos you guys do, like for Pushing the Tides and Tear Drinker, they're instead of like performance videos, I mean, you guys are in them in some performance aspect, especially in Pushing the Tides, but they're thematic. And that was kind of the thing with MTV videos when they first started. It was more theme and concept. Um, who was responsible for Pushing the Tides, that video? Because it's really crazy. Who came up with that idea?
That was Lorenzo, the director of the video. Um, we haven't been in one of our music videos in probably 5 years or more,
Hmm.
so we were excited to be a part of it.
Yeah.
It's helpful when you're on tour for quite a while and you need to have a video made. If someone can make a interesting and entertaining video without you being in it, that's great.
Yeah.
But after, like I said, it's been maybe 5 years or so since we've been in one of our own videos. So we were very happy to be a part of it. And he had the idea of going to Sicily, Italy, where that maze exists,
Oh,
where
wow.
runners are doing the game. And so that sounded, anytime someone's enthusiastic to work with us and their body of work in the past has proven interesting and colorful and exciting, that seems like a good match, and you kind of go for it. And he came in one day to Atlanta to do our filming part,
Uh-huh.
and then the next day he flew to Italy to get a bunch of that maze footage in Sicily.
Wow,
So
that's
turned out
crazy.
great, and we'll definitely work with him more in the future because he's fantastic.
That's awesome. And how about Tear Drinker? That
He
concept.
did the same.
Oh,
That
okay.
was an idea that he collaborated with. We collaborated with him. His video company is called Yellow, YHELLO, and that came out super cool. We knew
Yeah.
there was going to be a lot of trippy graphics involved, and we like trippy. We like to get weird.
Well,
So I
yeah.
think he nailed it on that video as well. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool to be a part of music videos again.
Yeah, and he put those primary colors in there, like red for Pushing the Tide and blue on Tear Drinker. So I'm curious if yellow is going to be the next color.
We'll see. We'll see. We're working on video 3 right now, so let's see how
All right.
if that comes up.
All right. Cool. Very cool. Uh, well, Troy, I just had one last question for you.
Sure.
It can be controversial. Hopefully, it's not for you, but um, we'll see. Pineapple or no pineapple on pizza?
If it's a barbecue chicken pizza, I'm okay with it because that incorporates the Hawaiian vibe of barbecue, meat,
Yeah.
and pineapple.
Right.
Other than that, like on a veggie pizza, like a vegetable pizza, I've
Yeah.
had pineapple and cherries once, and I'm not a fan of that. So unless it is a Hawaiian style barbecue chicken pizza, I'm gonna say absolutely not for pineapple.
All right. And how about the rest of the band? Do you know if Brent and
I'm
you
gonna
guys?
say no because I remember in the early days of traveling, I remember it was somewhere in Switzerland. We ordered 4 veggie pizzas, and they had cherries, pineapples, and other vegetables on there. Now, cherries and pineapple are fruits.
Right.
And when it came out, it was so colorful and decorated that we thought there was clowns in the kitchen making pizza, like with makeup and like wigs
Right.
and balloon noses. So judging by that moment when we were all sharing these pizzas together, I'm going to say no, unless it's Hawaiian themed. No on pineapple pizza.
All right, good. Well, it's good to hear that you guys are all on the same page on that one.
Unified.
Awesome. Well, can't wait the album's coming out on the 29th, and can't wait to see you guys on tour again. That'll be fantastic.
Thanks,
Um,
man. We're excited too.
yeah. So I'm in Michigan, and I'll be sure to look up that show when it comes this way. So,
Sounds great.
all right. Troy, thanks again for talking with me.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. See ya.
See you, man.